What the hell is going on at Tottenham Hotspur? It seems like Daniel Levy has gone down the back of that sofa and found his bloody wallet, because Tottenham are making some moves. I am absolutely shocked at what Tottenham are doing right now, because myself, along with a lot of Tottenham fans, have criticised Daniel Levy and the board, and, you know, really moaned that Thomas Frank hasn't been able to really be able to build his Tottenham team yet. We'd only signed Tell, we'd only signed Danzo, making loans permanent, and Kota Takai. But now the moves are starting to happen, and some absolute massive news has broken in the last 24 hours. But before we go any further, if you are new to the Sonny Talk Spurs YouTube channel and this is the first time you're discovering me, then leave your likes, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also let me know in the comments down below, what are you making of these moves made by Tottenham? So we'll start off with, news that broke late last night about Mohammed Kudus being made a permanent signing. Really happy with this deal. If you haven't seen it already, I reacted to it yesterday saying that I'm really happy with this move. I really think this is a good transfer for Tottenham Hotspur. But now it's permanent. Now we know the fee was around that £55 million mark. I feel like Tottenham are onto something really strong with this transfer. Taking off of a London rival and a player that Tottenham need. I feel like there's a lot of talk. And I mean, I'm going to mention the player momentarily that we're signing next. But there's a lot of talk about, do Tottenham need these sort of profiles in players? Many people saying that we need a six, we need different players up and down the field. But I think Mohammed Kudus is a fantastic signing. But I won't talk too much about him because I've spoken about him enough on the channel. So go and see those videos after you've watched this. But late last night, now this was an unbelievable transfer, and I'm sorry I didn't react to it sooner, but I was out with some TalkSport people. We had a big day, we reflected on some targets and stuff like that, so I wasn't able to react to it straight away. But Morgan Gibbs-White, I still can't believe this, is joining Tottenham Hotspur. What a signing this is. Now, when I saw this happen at first, when the original news was broken by David Ornstein, I thought, it's a good signing. I like the player, but we're not going to stump up the money. But Tottenham have paid the £60 million release clause to get Morgan Gibbs-White out of Nottingham Forest. And he's just another player that I think will add a lot to this Spurs side. Again, lots of people saying, but we've got James Maddison, but we've got Dan Kulusevski. We've got to remember, these players have been very, very injury prone. They're, not as reliable as we could want them to be, because I think they're class players, but with their injury records, you just can't always rely on them to play all the games of a season. You've got to think now we're in the Champions League, we're in the Premier League, competing at the top level, cup games as well. So it's going to be a very, very, strenuous season. And then also what you've got to think about is when you look at Tottenham as an attack. Now, Tottenham, I think, it's a known fact that we've scored a lot of goals in the last couple of seasons. But I think where we've lacked is being able to have players who can break the lines with passes, can dribble from deep, can really penetrate back lines. And Morgan Gibbs-White and Mohammed Kudus both do this in their own unique way. I think, if you're a Nottingham Forest fan seeing this news, you're going to be absolutely seething to see that this player, one of your best players, is leaving to come to Tottenham Hotspur. And for £60 million, I think that's a really good deal. Didn't even realise he had a release clause of, that little. So I'm absolutely buzzing with this deal. I think it's an absolute incredible signing for Spurs. I am buzzing about that one. I just feel like I'm surprised, there was obviously rumours linking him to Manchester City before they signed Ryan Shirky. There's news that, Arsenal have triggered to buy Noni Madueke. I think, Morgan Gibbs-White could have done a better job for Arsenal. So I think this is an unbelievable signing. A lot of, clubs seeing this are quite shocked that Daniel Levy is actually, really putting his hand in his pocket. So it makes you think, what else is there to be done at Spurs? Are they going to sign a six? Are they going to, improve that back line at all? Only time will tell. I can see a world where we now got to get rid of some deadwood. I see Richarlison going. I see maybe a Basuma going, but maybe we keep a Bentancur. Maybe Archie Gray has to make that step up. So I'm really excited about that move as well. And then also, now, I'm going to take this with a massive pinch of salt. There's news from GB News, so make of that what you will, saying that Adam Wharton could be on his way to Spurs. Now, if we signed Adam Wharton, that would be the signing of the summer, because Adam Wharton is an incredible player. He would be my dream signing. I've mentioned on videos, in the last couple of months, I've mentioned Adam Wharton, I mentioned Carlos Baleba from Brighton, I mentioned Angelo Stiller from Stuttgart, but they're all pipe dreams, and Adam Wharton is the top of that pyramid of a pipe dream. I can't see it happening, and the fact that it's from GB News makes it even more unreliable, I should say. So I can't see this one happening. But if we ended up a summer with, Tell on a permanent, Danzo on a permanent, Takai, Morgan Gibbs-White, Kudus, and Adam Wharton, I think that would be absolutely crazy. I think that would win the window, wouldn't it? Because we've seen Manchester City have already gone out and made some big signings, Liverpool as well. Arsenal are making some moves now, Manchester United, but this is ticking a lot of boxes, and I think Thomas Frank is finally getting a lot of players that are going to improve that system. I see Morgan Gibbs-White being like his Damsgaard. I see Kudus being like his Buemo at Spurs. I really am buzzing about these signings. I think they are impeccable. I think they're fantastic, and it's just showing a lot of intent that Tottenham are willing to, really put their hand in their pocket. Qualifying for the Champions League, winning in the Europa League. What I wanted from Tottenham was, and Daniel Levy, was to use this as a springboard to really go on to that next level and prove to, other teams in the league that we can actually, put our money where our mouth is, and really, go into this league campaign with, a cause and a fight that we can actually go and just make a mark and not just make up the numbers instead of just, because I think, us as Spurs fans, I can speak for myself here, as I think many Spurs fans, we get quite attached to certain players and we're not really ready to upset the apple cart. But I think with these signings, they're just, they take us to the next level. We always moan about depth, we always moan about extra players coming to the team, but I think these signings would be absolutely incredible. But you have to let me know in the comments down below, what do you make of these signings? Are you happy about it? Because I think we could be in for an absolute stellar summer. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And until next time, up the Spurs. And I'll see you guys pretty soon. Ciao.